Welcome back to my channel, everyone. How you all doing? My name is Belkis. Today's class will be on how to make a bustier top with cuffs, popularly called corset. It is very easy to make, and all you need for this class is your basic bodice pattern with that. And if you don't know how to make that, I will put the link in the description box below, because this is like the basis for any outfit you want to make at all. Your basic bodies with that or the dartless body. I'm going to put a link in the contact number below. So right now, let's get started. And before we continue, please, if you're new, you're welcome, and please make sure you subscribe. Check me out on Instagram, Blakis Signatures, and on Facebook, Sewing Innovation. Check out my other channel, Blakis Kitchen and Blakis Signatures for lovely DIY. So let's get started. Now, let's focus on the front panel. It is so similar with the bustier top, just that we need to add the cuff. So what do we do now? The first thing we need to do is to mark the bust radius. And how do you get your bust radius? It is just the measurement from the nape of your neck down to under the bust. That is where your bra stops, where the wire of your bra is. So that will be your under the bust measurement. So all you have to do is to deduct the bust point measurement from the measurement of the under bust. The bust measurement for this measurement is 14.5 inches, while the bust point of the bust level is 11.5. So when I deduct 11.5 from 14.5, I'll be left with 3 inches. The bust radius ranges due to how busty you have. So the more busty you have, the more higher your bust radius. So since we note the bust radius for this measurement is 3 inches. So all you have to do now is to make a circle. The easiest way to do is to just measure 3 inches from the bust point and rotate all around. You just rotate it all around if you don't have a compass. If you have a compass, it is easy. Just get this and open it up to 3 inches, because we actually needed 3 inches. Which is this. So I'm going to place it on the bust point here. Then you just rotate it. So that's easier. So with that now, I have my bust radius. The next thing we are going to do is this. First, let's just finish the lower part. Under the bust here, because we now know this is under the bust, and we need to get rid of some excesses there, some fabric excesses. So depending on how busty you are will determine how much excesses you are going to take off. For someone that is not busty, 1/4 inch on both sides is just fine. But for somebody that is busty, you could make use of 1/2 inch on both sides. That's after the dart. So that's what you have. Then mark a straight line downwards. We connect it to the dart. So that's done. After doing that, then you use your hammer coil to blend it up. So that's done. The next thing we are going to do on this upper part is that whatever measurement you have here, that is the dart that passed through the radius we have, just take the measurement, and here I have 1 inch, so you divide it into 2 and then take half on each side of the dart. So if you have just half an inch there, then you will take 1/4 inch on both sides. If you have 1 1/4, you divide it into 2, then connect to the bust point. So with this, you won't have any irregularities at all. So having done that, the next thing is to fix in the cup. Another thing I will tell you is this: for your corset, you can use the exact bust radius, and for a corset, some of your boobs will be obvious if you want, except you grade the cup itself to a higher cup. So now I will advise you come up from the intake of the dart by half an inch. Half an inch. When you see, then you connect it. So just to be sure, make sure the measurements are right from that point. Okay, that's good. So you can just extend this. Then at the middle here, for the space, it depends on your preference how low you want it to be. You could even have your corset almost to the bust point, but it just depends on your preference. You could just make it stop at the ham side depth, or you could go lower than that. It is totally optional. So I could just do like half an inch below the ham side depth. So here, or you could just do it exactly on the ham side depth, and you could even come up by half an inch from the armhole measurement. So that totally depends. Then from that point, you come in by half an inch. Then for a plus size like extra large and all that, you could make it up to 3/4 inch, but by standard it is just half an inch, as I have it here. So now let's connect that. So now from the half an inch I came in by, I'm just going to connect to the hand here, to the bust radius here, where it joins the dart. So that's done. Then for this, I'm just going to connect that here, depending on how you want it to be, but I think I'll put like this. Okay, that's good. Then coming to this other side, just come in from the side here, just come in by 2 inches. Can you see? So we are going to connect from this point, from this dart edge, straight here, and also from here down here. You just use your free hand to and this is just so easy. Then at this point, now we are going to connect from here down here, but I just want the line to just go through to the side of the bodies. So by standard, you should come down by half an inch for your busting top, because you don't want to have it exactly on your underneath your armpit. So you come down by half an inch here, so it cuts across to the back. Good. So can you see we are done with that? So the corset is ready, or busted top with cup. So having done that, now let's quickly move to the back. For the back, you just come down by 1 1/4. By standard, you come down by 1 1/4 from the arm side depth, which is here. Then make it straight a bit before you make a slight curve. this is what we have. And you see that was easy. Then the last thing we are going to do at the back is where this dart passes through, you just take 1/4 inch on both sides. This is to tighten up the upper part of your top. It is just the same process with your bustier top, just that you add up the cups, then connect it to the dart here. And that is done. Then another thing is, if you want a loop, you want some opening so has to be able to put a loop, you could take in between 1.5 to 2 inches and cut it off the back. Yes, and then you could trim off some excesses like 1/4 inch also from the back. All these are totally optional. Since we are done with the bustier top with cups now, there are also other types of cups you might want to have. Like this now, if you just want your cup to be like this, it is fine. But there are other styles too that you might want to need, whereby you have a different fabric at the upper part here. It is very easy to do that. All you have to do is this. From the starting point here, just come down by 1.5. So this is 1.5. I'm using a contrasting color in case you want that. So that's 1.5. So when I get to this point, I'll just add extra 1/4 inch to that. So that will make it 1 3/4. Coming here to 1 3/4. Then coming back to this point, I will make it 1.5. And you see, then I can connect it. Let me see that. Can you see what I have? So in case you want that style, so at the end of the day, after cutting it out, this upper part is going to be joined together to form just one pattern. So right now I can cut it all out. So I'll later cut off the dart. Let me get rid of this so that we can finish that. What we have now, then we can now cut off the darts. So this is the zipper allowance. That's where we move the center back, and then for this. good. So this is what we have now. And let's see. So that is what it looks like. So for the style I mentioned initially, in case you want that, all you have to do is so let's just label it. This is the center front, so you could just do the center 1, center 2. This is the side, so you could just make this side 1, side 2. So in case you don't want that, you maintain the scope this way, but if you want that, you have to cut it off. So this is what you will have. This will have to become one, so you don't need to overlap it, just join it together this way and put a tape on it to make it just one. Now this becomes one that's going to be on it. So this is what the bustier top with cups looks like. So you could just have it to the to your waist level or below your waist. It depends on your preference. But the most important thing now is that we have learned how to make a bustier top with cups, or corset as it is popularly called. So just give it a try, and if my tutorial on how to make this has been helpful, please give me a giant thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I remain your girl BUSTIER. Bye.